Hello everyone, a very good afternoon to all of you. Welcome to Unacademy. Please like this video and share this video with your friends so that many more students can come. Ranu, hello, good afternoon. So today we will start a new topic, a very important topic of your UGC NET English syllabus, that is figures of speech, which is also known as rhetorics. So rhetorics and prosody are two very important topics. Today I will start our discussion on rhetorics, and today is the first part of the video. Today we will cover some important figures of speech. Yes, Megha, I am teaching on Unacademy also, but I don't have my plus course right now. I am only teaching in special classes and in this YouTube channel. I have newly joined Unacademy. So today's class is about important figures of speech. This is the first part of the video. This is the first part. Okay. Which entrance exam, Megha? Good afternoon, Kavita. Good afternoon, Roshni. Megha, which entrance exam? Thank you. Okay, so before starting, I want to give you a brief introduction about myself. So students, my name is Brishti Mukherjee. I have qualified NTA UGC NET exam in English literature 3 times, and I have also qualified West Bengal SET exam. I have 10 months of teaching experience. I have also qualified NPTEL online course from IIT Madras 3 times. PhD entrance exam. Megha, for PhD entrance exam, I think you should prepare the syllabus of NTA UGC NET English literature. Actually, I have no experience of giving any entrance examination. So as I have cleared NET, I have been exempted from giving entrance examination. So I have no idea, but I think that in PhD entrance exam also the questions from your UGC NET syllabus will be asked. Okay. So that's all about myself. Now, before starting, I want to inform you about Unacademy. Unacademy is the largest learning platform in India. Priya Raj, hello. Rupali, good afternoon. Welcome. So to install the Unacademy Learning app, you first click on the Google Play Store and then you can install it. This is the logo. Okay, and after installing it, you will have to click on the category of NTA UGC NET. Hello Nitu, good afternoon. And if you want to take subscription, you can choose the plans for 12 months or 24 months. This is the price. And if you use my referral code Brishti10, you will get 10% extra discount in your overall price. And I'm also requesting you, please follow my profile on Unacademy Learning app. You will search with my name and you will find my profile. So please click on the follow button so that you will be notified every time I will post a special class. Ma'am, English NET aspirant का interview लीजिए. Priya Raj, I am very new to Unacademy platform. This is my first course actually. So I don't have any successful students. Okay, so maybe next year I can take some interview. Unacademy app नहीं चल रहा. OTP नहीं आ रहा. Rate limit exceed लिखा आता है, क्या करूँ? Kavita, I think you should contact with Unacademy technical team. Is there any option of any phone number or any email ID This is a technical problem. I think you should update your app or please contact the Unacademy team. Um, yes, this price is for both these two papers, Pooja. So now, I would also like to inform you another thing. There is a Telegram channel which is newly opened by Unacademy team, particularly for NTA UGC NET exam. So this is the link of the Telegram channel. So please join the Telegram channel where you will receive updates of English classes. Okay, please join this channel. Now let's begin today's class. So before starting, you must know what is rhetoric. Figures of speech, we also call it rhetoric. Now, what is rhetoric? In dictionary, rhetoric means the art of effective or persuasive speaking or writing. So, rhetoric is an art of speaking. This is not how we speak in our everyday life. This is not the thing. Rhetoric is a particular way of speaking in which we use some ornamented language, okay, and it is mainly used in poetry, in any kind of literature. So in dictionary it is mentioned that rhetoric means the art of effective or persuasive speaking. So the speaking must be effective and also persuasive, okay, and also in writing, especially the exploitation of figures of speech and other compositional techniques. So it means that what is rhetoric? That rhetoric refers to a particular art of speaking or writing, effective and persuasive speaking style, which is very different from our day-to-day conversation. It is a special type of speech or writing which is done by the exploitation of figures of speech. Various figures of speech we use to decorate our language. Actually, the main purpose of rhetoric is to decorate our language. Okay. And the word rhetoric actually comes from the word rhetor. Rhetor means a public speaker. So you can very well understand that the name itself, the name rhetoric itself is associated with speaking. So rhetoric means a public speaker. So when we talk to the mass, when we talk in some conference, or when we talk on the stage to a large number of people, then we use this kind of ornamental language to attract someone's attention. And in literature also, when the writers want to write something, they must write in a very decorative, ornamented way, so that readers can get an extra interest to read their works, right? So that is the purpose of rhetoric. And rhetoric has come from the word rhetor, which means a public speaker. Now, what is the purpose of rhetoric? As I have told you, rhetoric helps us to polish one's language in an attractive way. So its main purpose is to decorate the speech, decorate the language, okay, so that it can attract someone's attention. That is rhetoric. Okay. Now, next. Okay, so now I will mention what are the types of figures of speech. Now, there are a number of rhetorical figures, and we can classify it according to its genre. As you can say that figures of speech based on similarity, based on association, contrast, imagination, indirectness, sound, and construction. So all these are the categories of figures of speech. Okay, and in the categories there are some subcategories which we are now going to discuss. So as I have said, this is the first video on rhetoric. This is the first video on rhetoric. So in this video, I will be covering up three categories: figures based on similarity, figures based on sound, and figures based on indirectness. Okay, so these will be the 3 categories covered today. Now, next, figures based on similarity. This is the first category of rhetoric. Now, under this category, there are a number of important rhetorical figures. Now, we need to explore it one by one. So, the first important figures of speech, you all know, that is simile. Simile is very simple. Okay, very simple, very straightforward figures of speech. So, what is the definition of simile? Simile is an explicit comparison which is made between two different things. So, to remember simile, please remember the keyword explicit comparison, which is very prominent. The comparison is prominent and external. It is external comparison. You can see it. Whenever you can read, you will see a clear-cut comparison. You will understand that which thing is compared to which one. So this clear-cut comparison is known as simile, which is called explicit. Okay, between two different things, that is known as simile. Now, there is a point of comparison which is clearly shown using words like such as, like, as, etc. So these are the words. These are the words which are used to compare two different things. So what are the major features of simile? In simile, first of all, there are two different objects or two different persons. A comparison is made between the two. Okay, so first of all, first feature is there will be two different things or object or person. Okay, thing or person. Second important thing is a comparison is there. Comparison is there. Hello, sing hello. Okay, so two different things are there. A comparison is made. Now, how is the comparison? The comparison is explicit. That means you can see it. It is very clear cut. Very clear cut comparison. And fourth important feature is there are some words through which comparison is made. So what are the words? Like, as, etc. Okay, so these are the words through which comparison is made. So whenever you will see this kind of words, you can very well guess that it is an example of simile. Now, in your examination, actually, a sentence or a paragraph will be given, and they will ask you that which kind of, which figure of speech is there, which figure of speech is used here. So that kind of questions can become. Okay, so and the two comparing things must be different in nature, obviously. When some comparison is going on, the two objects must be different. And in that case only comparison may come. Okay, so two different objects should be there. There will be a comparison. The comparison will be explicit or clear cut, and we will find certain words like, as, etc. Okay, now we will look at some important examples. Okay, this is a very common example. She is as beautiful as a rose. Okay, so you can see here that the word as is used. Okay. And what is the point of comparison? The beauty. The beauty of the girl and beauty of the rose. So the quality is beauty. So to compare the beauty of the girl and the beauty of the rose, we can say that the girl is as beautiful as a rose. So we consider rose as the most beautiful object, and we are comparing a person or a girl to the rose. So the comparison may not be between two different objects. It may be one person and one object, or it may be two different living beings. Okay, or it may be two objects. So the comparison can be made between any kind of things. It may be objects, it may be person, one object. Okay, so here as we see that rose is an object. Okay, and she is a person. So a comparison between a person and an object is made, and the point of comparison is their beauty. Now, what are the other examples? If I say that her face is like the moon. Her face is like the moon. Now here the point of comparison is also the beauty. Her face, the beauty of the girl's face is compared to the beauty of the moon. So here the point of comparison is also beauty. Right? Now the second example. They fought like cats and dogs. Here also the word like is used. Now what is the point of comparison? The point of comparison is quarrel. They are quarreling. They are fighting. So as cats and dogs always fight, similarly they are also fighting. So that is the point of comparison. How are they quarreling? How are they fighting? So look here, a group of people is compared with that of two animals. Okay, so cats and dogs means they are fighting like the cats and the dogs always fight. So that is the point of comparison. So the point of comparison is the quarrel, how they are quarreling, how they are fighting. Clear? Okay, so this can also be comparison. Another example is the child shows the man as morning shows the day. Very clear cut comparison, as is there. Now what is the point of comparison? The point of comparison shows the beginning of a particular day, that is morning. So and we all say that the childhood phase is the beginning of a man's life. So the point of comparison is the beginning of the day. The beginning of the day and the beginning of a man's life. That is the point of comparison. So the beginning of the day is morning, and morning shows the day. This is a very important proverb that we can very well guess the whole atmosphere of the day seeing the morning, right? Similarly, the child shows the man. That means since childhood, from childhood, the all the trainings, all the good behaviors, all the societal rules we are actually learn to adopt. Okay, so the child actually shows how a man will be. That is the point of comparison. So the beginning of the day is morning, and beginning of a man's life is childhood. So the child shows the man as morning shows the day. Now the word as is used as a clear-cut comparison. Thank you, Priyaraj. Thank you. Now, next important is you have a childlike innocence. This is a very common sentence. We have used it very much. We have used this sentence, right? Childlike innocence. So here the point of comparison is the innocence, the purity of a child, right? So as a child is innocent, as we always say that the child knows no tricks, child's hearts are always pure. Similarly, you also have that kind of an innocence. Okay, so here the comparison is between two living beings. Two living beings. Yes, one is maybe he is some adult person and another is a child. So actually I am telling some adult person that you have a childlike innocence. So you are adult but you are innocent like a child. That means you still have the purity of a child, the innocence of a child. So that is the comparison between two living beings. So here also the word like is used. Another, this is a very famous line from Tennyson's poem, to follow knowledge like a shining star. So knowledge is here compared to a star. Why? Because at that time the stars are used actually the stars are actually used basically in the voyages to the east, west, north, south, to understand the direction. Okay, so stars are always used to understand the direction, especially during the voyages. Okay, in ancient times. So to follow knowledge like a shining star means, as a shining star always guides us to some right path, to the right direction. Similarly, knowledge can also guide us to a new life. Knowledge can also give us some new experience. So that is why we must follow knowledge like a shining star. That means knowledge should be our guide. Knowledge should be our guiding star, shining star. So that is the point of comparison of guidance. As a star guides a person in a voyage, similarly knowledge also guides us in our life to gain more experience. Yes, Bharati, good afternoon, welcome. Now, another example is, the boy is as brave as a lion. Okay, so here the bravery is the point of comparison. As lion is brave, similarly the boy is also very brave. Okay, so here the comparison is made between an animal and a person, right? Another example I can mention, that the very famous line of Wordsworth's Daffodils, I hope you all know. I wandered lonely as a cloud. I wandered lonely as a cloud. This is a line from Daffodil by Wordsworth. A very first line of Daffodils, right? So I wandered lonely as a cloud. Now, here the point of comparison is the loneliness. As the cloud is alone in the sky, the cloud is wandering, the cloud is moving endlessly in the sky. Similarly, I am also wandering as a cloud. Okay, so the poet is comparing his condition with that of a cloud in the sky. So that is the comparison between a cloud and a person. That means the poet. Another important example from Macbeth. I hope you all know the line. Pity like a naked newborn babe striding the blast. Very famous example. Pity like a naked newborn babe striding the blast, from Macbeth. So here pity is compared to a naked newborn babe which is striding the blast. Okay, so here also the word like is used. So these are the examples of simile. Now there is also another portion that is called epic simile or Homeric simile. So you will find epic similes in Paradise Lost. Epic simile. Epic simile you will find in Paradise Lost and also in Paradise Regained. So all the epical works, in the epical works of Homer, you will find epic similes. So now what is simile actually means? Simile actually means, as I have said, a point of comparison for the first thing. A comparison is made. The second important thing is that the comparison is made between two different things or two different persons. Clear? Yes, this is from Shakespeare's Macbeth. So this is the second important thing. The third important thing is that you will find some words, specific words which will help you to make the comparison. For example, like or as. You will find these words. And the comparison is explicit. That is why the comparison is explicit. You can very well guess just by reading all these sentences that what is the point of comparison. She is as beautiful as Rose. You have a childlike innocence. Okay, they fought like cats and dogs. So the comparison is very explicit. That is called simile. Okay, clear? Should I move ahead? Please tell me, should I move ahead, all my learners? यहाँ तक clear है? आगे बढ़ो. Okay. So we will move on to our next figure of speech. Metaphor. Now, metaphor is just the opposite of simile. Okay. Metaphor is just the opposite of simile. Now, what happened in metaphor? in metaphor, a comparison is also made. Okay, that is same. But the comparison is made between two dissimilar objects. That is also same. Two different objects are compared, but the comparison is implicit. Okay, Rupal. Okay. The comparison is implicit. That means it is hidden. The comparison is hidden. You will no longer find words such as like or as here. These words are not in metaphor. Okay, so the comparison is implicit. You need to realize what is the point of comparison. This is not explicitly said. So that is the basic difference between simile and metaphor, that in simile the comparison is explicit, it is very clear cut, but in metaphor the comparison is hidden, it is implicit. Now, the word metaphor actually came from the Greek word metaphero. This is the Greek word metaphero, which means carrying over. Okay. So Greek word metaphero means carrying over. So metaphero से आया है metaphor. Okay. And metaphor is a kind of compressed simile, you may say. Compressed simile or implied simile. Implied simile. विक्रम एक्चुअली अभी तो कोई नोटिफिकेशन नहीं किया गया एनटीए की तरफ से नेट एग्जाम कब तक होगा, बट अकॉर्डिंग टू रूल्स नेट एग्जाम शुड हैपन इन जून 2021 आई थिंक. लगता है जून से पहले नहीं होगा, लेकिन पता नहीं, जब तक एनटीए कोई नोटिफिकेशन नहीं जारी करेगा तो बताना मुश्किल है थोड़ा. बट आप ये मान के चल सकते हो कि नेट एग्जाम अगर होगा तो जून में ही, बिकॉज रिसेंटली द एग्जाम हैज़ बीन कंडक्टेड, सो इन द गैप ऑफ 6 months आई थिंक इट मे हैपन इन जून. तो आप ये मानकर चल सकते हो कि नेक्स्ट नेट एग्जाम जून में ही होगा, बट उससे पहले भी हो सकता है, पता नहीं एनटीए कब क्या करता है ना. So metaphor is actually kind of compressed simile or implied simile. Why compressed simile? Because the point of comparison is missing. Sorry, the point of explicit comparison is missing. Okay, that is why it is compressed. Simile is a bit compressed. That is, we can see in metaphor. Now, you will be given some examples. Very famous example, you all know what is the source of the text, as you like it. Okay. All the world is a stage and all men and women are mainly players. Who said these words in As You Like It? You know who said these words? All the world is a stage and all men and women merely players. This is a line from As You Like It. Do you know who is the speaker? Please tell me. Who is the speaker? Very famous speech. All the world is a stage and all men and women merely players. Who is the speaker? Anybody? The speaker is Jacques. The speaker is Jacques in As You Like It. As You Like It. So this is a famous quotation. Now, what is the point of comparison? All the world is a stage and all men and women merely players. So here the world is compared to a stage. But you can see there is no point of comparison. It is not said that all the world is like a stage. Not. The word like is not there. No, not Wordsworth. It is from As You Like It. Jacques is the speaker from Shakespeare's play. Very famous speech. All the world is a stage and all men and women merely players. Okay, so world is compared to a stage and all men and women merely players means all men and women are actors. So what is Jacques trying to say? Jacques is trying to say that the whole world is a kind of stage and we all people are part of the acting group. Okay, and we all have come after assigning some sort of roles. We will perform our roles and after our performance we will live from the stage. So that is the point of comparison. Yes, Kavita, it is from As You Like It. Okay. Yes, it's 1599. So, okay, now, all the world is a stage and all men and women. So here, look at the point of comparison. World is compared to a stage, but the comparison is implicit, right? It is hidden. And all people are compared to the actors. This is also hidden. Only it is said, but there is no words such as like or as. No explicit comparison is there. It is only implied. So that is an example of metaphor. Now another thing is the camel is the ship of desert. Very famous line. Okay. So camel is compared with the ship. As a ship always sails on sea. Ship is the only way of transport over the sea. Similarly, in desert, the only way of transport is camel. Right. So the way of transportation is the point of comparison here. Yes, Kavita. So the way of comparison is the way of transport is actually the point of comparison here. As a ship is the only way of transport in sea, in voyages. Similarly, in desert, camel is the only way of transport, right? So that is the point of comparison, but it is implicit. Okay, there is no word like as. Next, he is the pillar of the society. Now, what is the point of comparison? It means that as a pillar actually holds a building straight, holds a building perfectly. Similarly, this man is actually the major member of a society, which is, he is the major member. He is the building block of the society. He is the building block. So that is the point of comparison. He is the pillar of the society. Next is, he is a walking encyclopedia. Now, encyclopedia is a storehouse of vast knowledge. Now, this man is compared to encyclopedia on the point of his knowledge. That the man is so knowledgeable, it seems as if the whole encyclopedia has come into life. That is why walking encyclopedia. Okay. So, this man's knowledge is actually compared to the knowledge of encyclopedia. That means he knows everything. Okay. There is no field of knowledge which he does not know. He is a very, very wise man. So that is signified here. He is a walking encyclopedia. Clear? Now, her voice is music to my ears. Okay. Her voice is music. Now, what is the point of comparison? The tone of the voice. Okay. So, the girl's voice is so sweet that it is so melodious, it sounds like music. Okay. So, the melody of the music, the sweetness of a music is compared to the sweetness of a girl's voice. So, her voice is so sweet as if it seems to me that I am hearing some music. That is the comparison. But there is no explicit comparison. Her voice is music to my ears. Only the word is mentioned. Right? Now, next important thing is the woman has a golden heart. Now, what does it mean? Golden heart means he has a very honest and pure heart. As pure as gold. Okay. So, the woman is a very honest person. Her heart is very pure. She is very kind-hearted also. Very noble. Okay. So, that is mean here. The woman has a golden heart. Now, I will give you some other examples. For example, I am saying that he is in his evening of life. He is in his evening of life. What does that mean? Evening means the end of a day, right? As I have told you that morning shows the day. Similarly, evening is the end of the day. Now, I am saying that the person is in his evening of life, which means that his life is also going to end very soon. Maybe he has come to his old age. He is going to die very soon. Okay, so here the end of the day, evening, is compared to the end of life, but there is no clear-cut comparison. The comparison is hidden. Okay, so the end of the day is evening, and the end of his life is also compared here. In the previous example, I have said that the child is the child shows the man as morning shows the day. Okay, so there the word as is mentioned. That is why the comparison is explicit. It was an example of simile. But in this case, I am saying that he is in his evening of life. There is no word like, as, etc. Okay. So here also the point of comparison is same. That evening is the end of the day, and he is also at the end of his life. Maybe he is in his old age, or he is in his deathbed. Okay. So that is the point of comparison here, and that is why it is a metaphor. He is in his evening of life. Another example you can take, he is a man of iron will. He is a man of iron will. Now what does that mean? That iron, we consider iron as a very strong metal, very heavy metal, right? So his willpower is like that of an iron. That means he is very determined person. Okay, he has very strong willpower. That is the point of comparison. The strength of iron is compared with the strength of a person's will, right? So he is a man of iron will. He is a man of iron will. This is also an example of metaphor. Now, there are some other metaphors which are called strained metaphors. Okay. Which are called strained metaphor. This is not so important, but I am just telling you. Strained metaphor. Now, what is strained metaphor? A strained metaphor means when the comparison between the two objects are very far-fetched. Okay, when the comparison is far-fetched, in that case we call it a strained metaphor. That means the comparison is strained. Okay, this is not so important. I am just telling you strained metaphor. Now, I can give you a very good example of strained metaphor. Hello, Ruby. Hello, Sneha. Good afternoon. So, strained metaphor, you can get a very good example from Macbeth, where Macbeth is actually saying, "Here lay Duncan, his silver skin laced with his golden blood." I am repeating the line. Here lay Duncan, his silver skin laced with his golden blood. Now, the comparison between gold and blood, golden blood, this is a far-fetched comparison. Okay, that is why it is also a metaphor, because the comparison is hidden. Yes, in Paradise Lost we also find many such examples you can find. I am just giving you a few examples just to make you understand. So his silver skin laced with his golden blood. Now the comparison between gold and blood is very far-fetched, right? But as it is implicit comparison, it is a metaphor, but it is a strained metaphor. Okay. So this is all about metaphor. Now we will move on to our next figure of speech, that is allegory. You all know what is allegory. In allegory also, a comparison is made between two dissimilar things, but the comparison is very lengthy. Okay. Very long, lengthy comparison. Yes, Neha, I am a new educator in Unacademy. I have newly joined. So, a comparison is made between two dissimilar things. It is very lengthy comparison is there. Okay. And in allegory, we often find a story within a story. And a moral lesson is also implied. So, that is the feature of allegory. The comparison is very detailed. Very detailed comparison. You all know, you have found a lot of examples in literature of allegory. The fairy queen, by Edmund Spencer is a very famous allegory. Gulliver's Travels is also a very famous allegory by Jonathan Swift. The Pilgrim's Progress by John Bunyan. These are all masterpieces of allegory, right? So, so the main feature is that the comparison is also made, but the comparison is very detailed, very lengthy comparison, and a moral lesson is also there in any kind of allegory. Okay. Thank you, Sneha. Thank you. I will try my best to teach you well. So, this is all about allegory. Okay. Now we move on to next. Parable. What is parable? Parable is a short allegorical story. So parable is actually a part of allegory, a type of allegory. It is a short allegorical story. But important thing is that in parable, we always find human characters. Okay, so that is the difference between parable and fable. I will talk about fable later. So in parable, we always find human characters. Okay. And what is the purpose? The purpose is to illustrate some truth, some religious principle, or some moral lesson. So the purpose is to teach something, to teach you some religious principles, to teach you some moral lesson. So there is a didactic purpose of a parable, right? Didactic purpose. So parable is an allegorical story. No, personification or parable is not same. Personification means when an object is given some human attributes, that is personification. For example, if I say that the nature is crying, so nature is an inanimate thing, it cannot cry, right? But crying is a human emotion. So I am just transferring a human emotion to the nature. Okay, the evening is morning, if I say. So the evening is actually a time. It has no living sense, right? It is a non-living thing, evening. But I am imposing the emotion of a person, that is mourning or lamenting, over a particular type of object. So that is personification, when an object is given some human attributes. But parable is not that. In parable you will find a short story, allegorical story, but there are always human characters. Okay, and it has didactic purpose. For example, biblical parable. Yes, biblical parable. Yes, Aesop's fable and Panchatantra is also fable, famous fable in Indian context. Very, very good, Sneha. So this is parable. Now, next we will talk about fable. Sneha has already mentioned. Now, the only difference between parable and fable is that in parable we find human characters, but in fable we find animals. Very good example is Panchatantra. Okay. And Aesop's fable also. You all have read the very good stories of Aesop's fable in your childhood, right? So in fable we find animals as characters. And what is the important thing? That the animals are actually signifying some particular human qualities. For example, a fox. Fox signifies cunningness, right? A lion signifies bravery. So this kind of thing we can find. You all have read fable, right? I don't need to explain you. So fable is a short allegorical story. It deals with animals, and most importantly, it is all fictitious story. So in Panchatantra stories, we can see that animals are talking, animals are doing certain things, human things. Okay, so generally deals with animals, and it is also fictitious story. Yes, Priyaraj, mainly 1 hour class in YouTube. Daily means Monday to Friday. I am teaching on YouTube from Monday to Friday at 3 p.m. live. Okay. So a fictitious story. A moral is given at the end. In the same way, in parable also you will find a moral, but in fable, the animal characters will teach you some moral. Okay? And the very famous stories you all know, the hare and the tortoise, the ant and the grasshopper, and also the nun-priest's tale in the Canterbury Tales is also, this is about Chanticleer and a fox. This is also a fable. Okay. Will you continue up to literary criticism, ma'am? Yes, Ruby, I will try to cover up all the topics step by step. Okay. Thank you. So now, I, um, I have already talked about figures of speech based on similarity. So what are the figures of speech? Simile, metaphor, allegory, parable and fable. So 5 types. Now we will talk about figures based on sounds. Okay. So this is another classification. Yes, yes. Aesop's fables we all have read in our childhood. Very good, Sneha. So now the classification. Figures of sound actually can be divided into 3 figures of speech. One is pun, another is alliteration, and another is onomatopoeia. So these are the 3 types. Now I will explain it. What are the 3 types? First of all is pun. Okay. What is pun? Pun is also called paronomasia. So please remember the other title also. We always remember the name pun, but maybe in your exam the option paronomasia is given to confuse you. So please remember paronomasia is nothing but the other name of pun. Okay. Now what is pun or paronomasia? In pun, 2 different words having same sound but different meanings. So pun means 2 different words whose pronunciation is same but meanings are different. In English literature, we find a lot of words like that, right? So they are all examples of pun. And pun is used mainly for comic effects. Okay, so hearing the pronunciation, often you cannot guess the spelling. You cannot guess the different meanings. So that creates confusion, and it mainly used for comic effects, right? And it also be a cause of verbal ambiguity. So it can also create some ambiguity because of the same sound, same pronunciation. Okay, that is why some confusion may also happen. And a very interesting quotation is there. Charles Lamb, you all know Charles Lamb, the famous essayist. So Charles Lamb has given a definition of pun. Very humorously he says, I am writing it here, pun is a pistol. Pun is a pistol let off at the ear, okay? Not a feather, tickle the intellect. Tickle the intellect. So Lamb has said that pun is like a pistol let off at the ear. Such a powerful figure of speech. So this is a quotation of Lamb. Just for reference, I have told you. So this is about pun. And another thing is that there is a duplicity of sense. So remember this keyword, duplicity of sense. Why duplicity of sense? Because the sounds are same, the pronunciation is same. That is why duplicity of sense is there. That means the word which means something else, we can guess something else hearing the pronunciation. Okay, that is why the duplicity of sense is there. It will clear when I will give you some examples. Here are the examples. Every hour is vital for our study. Look at the pronunciation. H-O-U-R, we also pronounced as hour, and O-U-R, we also pronounced as hour. So, every hour, this refers to time, and hour refers to us. Okay. Yes, duality of meaning. Very good, Sneha. After her husband's death, she pined for a second. Very, very good. Second is here the pun. Here second actually means second husband, not first, second, third. Okay. So yes, very good, Sneha. Very good example of pun. Okay, so every hour is vital for our study. Now the word hour, there is a pun. The pronunciation is same, but the meanings are different, completely different, right? So for example, imagine if I write here hour and here hour. So how will that be? It will create confusion, right? So this is about pun. Now, the next important example, the eldest son is the son of the family. Almost same pronunciation, son. Now, the son of the family means the most important member, the most shining member of the family. The eldest son is the son of the family, but we are both the words are pronounced as son. We are not pronouncing it as son. Okay, we are also pronouncing it as son. The eldest son is the son of the family. This is pun. Okay. Another, the feathers are light but not light. Very similar to the example Sneha has given. The feathers are light but not light. Sorry. So, what does that mean? The feathers are light, which means light in color. Light color. Okay. The feathers are light means here light is weight. The feathers are very light. They are light in weight, but not light, which means the color. They are not light color, they are dark. Okay, so the feathers are light but not light. Very same. Sorry again. So the same words, but meanings are different. The first light means weight. Okay, heavy light, that light. And the second light means the color, dark light, that color. Okay. Now, he will make an will for his daughter. Another important pun. He will make an will. Here, will means legal document, and this will is actually the word shall will, right? So, he will make an will for his daughter. Again, pun. Very interesting, right? Now, this is a line from Shakespeare. Not on thy soul, but on thy soul. Solely, and this is soul. Again, pun. Within a second, he moves to the second man. Now, here second means time, and here second means the second person, the number of the person, first person, second person. So, within a second, he moves to the second man. Here, this is also pun. Okay, so these are the examples of pun. Now, next important figures of speech is alliteration. Very easy and very common figure of speech. Repetition of the same letter or syllable in a sentence. That is called alliteration. Okay. Repetition of the same letter or syllable in a sentence. It is mainly used in poetry. Clear? And the repetition may be in the beginning or in a succession. So it may happen in the beginning of a sentence or in successive points. Okay. So this is alliteration. Now I will give you some examples. Now, the blue sky is blazing brightly. So which sound is repeating? The B sound, B sound. Okay. So B sound is repeating. The blue sky is blazing brightly. It is mainly used for poetic effect. अंशुमान बाल हिंदी में समझाने का कष्ट करें. अंशुमान, I am very poor at Hindi. I am sorry, but I am very poor at Hindi, and and most of the times I am doing gender mistakes in speaking Hindi. That is why I am afraid of speaking it. You will started laughing at me. That is why I am avoiding Hindi. Okay, I am living in West Bengal. I am a Bengali, so I have no command over Hindi language. I am very sorry, Ansuman. I am very sorry. But if I will start talking in Hindi, you will all laugh at me. So I will not do that. Okay. So now the blue sky is blazing brightly. So the word B here, the sound of B is repeated. So that is an example of alliteration. Okay. So blazing brightly. Our whole journey was full of fun. Okay. So the word F is repeated. The sound fa is repeated. Full of fun. This is also alliteration. Okay. Ruin seizes the ruthless king. This is an example from Thomas Gray. Okay. Ruin seizes the ruthless king. The word R is repeated. R sound is repeated. Ruin, ruthless. Okay. So another example, the army awfully attacked the enemy. So the word A sound is repeated. Right. Army awfully attacked the enemy. So this alliteration is mainly used to emphasize a point. If I say that the army attacked the enemy, the effect will not be so impressive, right? But if I say the army awfully attacked the enemy, the stress which I am giving on each syllable, that will make the sentence more better. That is why it is mainly used in poetry. So the army awfully attacked the enemy. The repetition of the sound A is here. Another example, she is a fashionable and fair woman whom everyone follows. Repetition of F sound. Fashionable, fair, follow. Okay. Okay. Siddesh, actually I have just launched my free classes on Unacademy. So first of all, you need to download Unacademy app. Then you can search my name there. Okay, and you will find my free classes. I have already taken one free classes, and tomorrow I have another special class on Unacademy. So if you have Unacademy app, you will easily find it. Okay. So fashionable and fair woman, follow. These are all F, repetition of F sound here. Okay. Now next, onomatopoeia, another figure of speech based on sound. Onomatopoeia actually creates a sound effect that imitates the thing described. So onomatopoeia is actually the sound, a particular sound actually echoes the sense. Sound echoes the sense. Okay, so that is onomatopoeia. Such a sound is produced that the sound is itself explanatory. The sound is itself explaining the thing. Okay, that is onomatopoeia. The sound makes the description more natural and interesting. So that is onomatopoeia. Used for the sake of poetic diction, the cries of all animals are onomatopoeic words. Very good example. The hooting of an owl, the cawing of a crow, the mewing of a cat. Okay. So all these examples are the examples of onomatopoeia. Any kind of sounds produced by animals, they are mainly the examples. Because if I say mewing, you can very well guess that mew can only be associated with cat. Okay. If I say howling, you can easily guess that howl can only be associated with any tiger or lion, right? So I am only telling you the sound, and the sound itself explains the sense. As I will give you some examples. Murmuring of bees. A particular insect or a particular animal has a particular sound, right? The murmuring of bees. The lion howled. Okay. The sleeper slapped on the floor. This is also alliteration here. Sleepers slapped. So the slapping sound is only associated with sleeper. Okay. Yes, Sneha, very good. Rustling of leaves, buzzing of bees, gargling of water, very good. Gargling can only be associated with water. So all these are the onomatopoeic words. Very good, Sneha. As I have said, he splashes the water over the floor. So the sound of the water throwing on the floor is splashing of water. So this sound itself explains that it may be associated with some liquid, mainly water. Okay. A boom of thunder startled us. A boom of thunder, the sound of thunder. Okay. The brook that babbles by. This is also an example of alliteration. Brook babbles by. And also onomatopoeia for the word babbles. It's, yes, for the word babbles. If I say that guns are thundered, guns are thundered. This is also an example of onomatopoeia because the sound of the rifle is given. Thundering guns, right? So all these sounds, the such perfect sounds, which actually itself explains the whole thing, that is called onomatopoeia. Okay. So these three figures of speech are based on sound: pun, alliteration, and onomatopoeia. Now I will talk about figures of speech based on indirectness. What are the figures of speech based on indirectness? The first one is innuendo. There are four types: innuendo, euphemism, periphrasis, and irony. Okay. Innuendo, euphemism, periphrasis, and irony. So these are all the classification of figure of indirectness. Okay. So these are all figure of indirectness. Clear? Now we will talk about it one by one. Innuendo. First figure of speech is innuendo. What is innuendo? Innuendo is actually a Latin word which means an oblique hint. So a figure of speech which is based on hinting. Okay. So a hinted statement used against a person or a thing. This is not clearly stated. Nothing is clearly stated. It is only hinted. Okay. That is innuendo. And the purpose is to malign someone's character or reputation. So the main purpose of innuendo is to say such a thing, such a satirical hint which can malign someone's reputation, which can hurt someone. So that is the purpose of innuendo. I will give you some examples. For example, he is so intelligent that he cannot qualify the exam. Okay, so this is an example of innuendo. Why? I am saying that he is so intelligent, but he cannot qualify the exam. So from this point, it becomes very clear that he is not at all intelligent, right? But I am saying in such a way that the person will be hurt. If I say to him directly that you are a bad student, that is why you can't qualify, the effect will be lesser. Okay, but I am saying it very roundabout way. In a roundabout way, I am saying the thing, and I am saying just the opposite. I am saying that, oh my God, you are so intelligent that you can't qualify the exam. So that can hurt a person more. Okay, so he is so intelligent that he cannot qualify the exam. So my basic purpose is to hurt him, to malign his reputation. Okay, to use it in a negative sense. Innuendo is basically used in a negative sense. Okay, so I am actually want to suggest that he is not at all intelligent, but I am saying the opposite. He is so intelligent that he cannot qualify the exam. The next example: after the arrival of my friend, I found my purse missing. I am not directly saying that my friend has stolen my purse, but the indication is on that portion, that my friend is the main culprit. But I am not saying my friend directly. I am just saying that after the arrival of you, I just found my purse missing. So the inherent hint is that yes, you have stolen my purse, right? So that is the hint. Here the purpose is also to malign someone, to blame someone, right? So I am saying after the arrival of my friend, I found my purse missing. So the implication is that my friend has stolen my purse. Clear? Okay. Next example: I wish to die a natural death. Okay, I wish to die a natural death, which means that I don't want to go to hospital. I don't want to be operated in the hands of the doctors. I wish to die a natural death, a peaceful death. Okay, so don't try to experiment with my body. That is the indication. I wish to die a natural death. Now, another example, we very often use the sentence, the book needs no comment, the author is an octogenarian. I am not saying that the book is bad, but the book is of low quality. This is the direct statement, but I am saying it indirectly that the book needs no comment because the author is an octogenarian. So with the mention of the word octogenarian, it becomes very clear that why I don't need to make any comment, because the book is so bad that it doesn't need to get any comment, right? That is the implication. So here also my purpose is to malign the author, to dishearten the author. Neighbors and relatives are yes, Usha, you are quite right. In a sense of comment, sarcastic way, sarcasm means yes. Talking in a very sarcastic way, talking in a very indirect way, and I am talking in such a way so that it can hurt you. Okay. Usha has said very rightly, neighbors and relatives are yes. Many neighbors are like that. Very good, Usha. Okay. So now, next important figure of speech is euphemism. This is just the opposite of innuendo. Actually, innuendo is spoken by some straightforward persons who can say anything to anybody. Okay, but there are some persons who are actually trying to say bad things in a very good way, so that the person whom I am saying this, he will not be so disheartened. So the opposite figure of speech of innuendo is euphemism. Now, what is euphemism? Euphemism is also an indirect way of saying things, but it means the use of more polite words instead of some offensive and harsh expressions. So you can see that, yes, Sneha, very good. Looking at his painting, he complimented, what a nice frame. So that means the frame is good, but the painting is so bad that I don't want to make any comment. Yes, that is also innuendo. Very good. So an indirect way of expression, euphemism, just the opposite of innuendo. You can very well find the contrast. So what is euphemism? In euphemism, we use some more polite words instead of some offensive or harsh expression, which means to say some bitter truths in a very sugar-coated manner so that it does not humiliate the listener. So in innuendo, the purpose is to hurt somebody, is to malign someone's reputation, is to dishearten someone for negative purpose. But in euphemism, the speaker is actually trying to present some very bitter truth. What do you say in Hindi? Kadwa sach, right? Am I saying right? So any kind of kadwa sach can be told in a very sugar-coated way. Okay. So that is euphemism. When you say some bitter truths in a more polite way, in a more formal way, so that the listener will not get offended. That is the purpose of euphemism. Now, what are the examples? We often say he passed away last night. Okay, so you all know that in our childhood, when we have started, when we have started to learn how to write biography. So when we write biography of some eminent persons, we don't say that he died in this year. We often say that he passed away. So died is a very harsh word. In that sense, I am trying to make a harsh thing a very polite. That is why I am using passed away. So he died last night seems to be very harsh. But I am saying he passed away last night. That means he died. Yes. Okay. Another example is, we have to let you go. Suppose the boss of a company is telling you, we have to let you go, which means we are firing you from your job. But if I say that you are fired, it seems to be very offensive, very harsh. Instead, I am saying that we have to let you go. That means we are freeing you from your responsibilities in this company. Okay. He sleeps a sleep which has no end. Yes, Neha, very good. It means he is dead. He is sleeping such a sleep which has no end. That means he is dead. Very good. That is also an example of euphemism. So we have to let you go means we actually fired you from your job. So the word fired is very harsh. We are using it in that way, very polite way. Now, John was sent to a correctional facility. You all know that nowadays the jails or the prison houses are called the correction house, right? In Bengali we call it Sangshodhonagar. So actually prison house is such a house where we are giving the criminals an opportunity to change their mind so that they can again be a good human being. So that is the major purpose. That's why jail is not said. It is said correctional facility. That means the prison house. Okay. Next is the trader regret the inability to give any further credit, which means that the trader has stopped the payment. Okay, so it is saying in a very polite way that the trader regrets the inability to give any further credit. That means the trader has stopped to pay. The payment has been stopped. That is saying in this way. Now, in George Orwell's famous novel 1984, you will find the word joy camp. Okay, joy camp is actually a word used by Orwell. Now, what does that mean? It means forced labor camp. Now, look, if I say forced labor camp, it will create a negative impact. So, Orwell has used the word joy camp. So, the word joy camp itself is very merryful word, right? So, joy camp is also an example of euphemism. Actually, it means the forced labor camp, as Orwell has mentioned it. So, these are all examples of euphemism. Okay. Now, the next important topic, the next important figure of speech is periphrasis, which is also known as circumlocution. Remember in my class on Anglo-Saxon age, I have told you about kenning. Remember kenning, a figure of speech, and I have said that kenning is actually the type of circumlocution. Kenning is also a type of circumlocution. I have already told you that if I say well road for sea, well road instead of saying sea, so that is a roundabout way of saying things. So that is kenning. But in the same way, periphrasis is also same type. It is also a roundabout way of expression. Okay. And what does it do? It uses many words unnecessarily where one or few would do. So it is actually talking unnecessarily. We are explaining things unnecessarily where there is a few words, where there is a single word which can serve my purpose, but I am telling it very descriptively. That is called periphrasis or circumlocution, roundabout way. Okay, that is why circumlocution, that means saying in a circle. Okay. In Hindi we can say घुमा फिरा कर बात करना. Okay, so this घुमा फिरा कर बात करना is called periphrasis, right? Often used in poetry. In poetry, we never find any single expression. A single topic is described with number of metaphors and similes and very long sentences, right? We mainly find it in poetry. You can take some examples. The Eye of Heaven. This is from Shakespeare's sonnet number 18. Very famous example. Sonnet number 18 of Shakespeare. Eye of Heaven. Eye of Heaven actually refers to the sun. So I am not saying sun, I am saying eye of heaven. Okay. Yes, a sleep that never breaks, which Sneha has already talked about. This is also an example of death. This can also be an example of circumlocution. Okay. He sleeps a sleep which has no end. This is also an example of euphemism, but in another sense, you can also use it in circumlocution, right? So you are not saying dead. He is dead. You are saying that he sleeps a sleep that knew no break, that has no end. So you are saying a simple thing in a roundabout way. Okay, that is death. That is a periphrasis, circumlocution. Okay, morning tears. This is an example from Emily Bronte's poem. Emily Bronte's poem. Mild the mist upon the hill is the name of the poem. So morning tears means the dewdrops. Very poetic expression. Okay. My car, I am saying the vehicle that I used to drive. A vehicle that I used to drive, that means my car. But I am saying a simple thing in a roundabout way. Now, I am not saying bed. I am saying a wooden structure on which someone can sleep. That means it is bed. But I am saying it in a roundabout way. A wooden structure on which someone can sleep. That is bed. Okay. Another thing, I have visited a person who is the only brother of my father. That means he is my uncle. You can see this kind of examples in your paper 1 course also, blood relation. Okay, in blood relation, actually this type of sentence is given. Who is the brother of my father, who is the only son of my grandfather, the only daughter-in-law. This kind of long sentences were given, and you need to identify what is the relationship actually. So that is also a type of circumlocution. All the blood relations questions which are a part and parcel of NTA UGC NET paper 1 exam, you can take a note of that also. So all these examples are, all these questions are examples of periphrasis, circumlocution. To saying a simple word, uncle, brother, sister, I am saying it in a roundabout way. Okay, so here also it is said, I have visited a person who is the only brother of my father. That means he is my uncle. But I am not saying the word uncle, I am actually describing the relationship. Okay. Sneha, I have no idea regarding GATE exam. And I have not given PhD entrance also, because I have been exempted from giving entrance as I have qualified it. I have no idea of that, Sneha. GATE exam and entrance exam. Okay. So now irony. Very important, very common figure. You all know what is irony. Irony is also an indirect way of expression. What is irony? Irony means saying one thing while meaning the opposite. Okay, saying one thing while meaning the opposite. The purpose is to hurt someone. Here also the purpose is to hurt someone, but the way of expression is different. Okay, you will see it. He is my best friend who has refused to help me. So that is the irony. He is my best friend. It is expected that he will help me in my distress, but he has refused to help me. So that is irony. I am not saying it directly to my friend, but I am actually saying it to myself rather, that he is my best friend who has refused to help me. So that is the irony. Okay. Next, a post on Facebook is complaining how useless Facebook is. Very ironical. You are posting on Facebook that how useless Facebook is. So you are using the medium and you are also saying how useless is it. So that is irony. Okay. Next, how obediently he was to flout openly his old father. This is also an example of irony. I am saying actually in irony what is said, the opposite is went. Okay, so I am saying how obediently, but this is not a sign of obedience, right? This is a sign of arrogance, because I am saying how obediently he was to flout openly his old father. So he is so obedient that he is openly flouting his old father. So that is not at all a sign of obedience, that is a sign of arrogance. But I am saying just the opposite, and I am trying to mean an opposite sentiment. Okay. So this is an example of irony. Another example is how nicely you made this mistake. Very ironical. I am saying it nicely and also I am saying mistake. So nicely, in a mistake cannot be made nicely. A beautiful thing can be made nicely. Okay, an artistic object can be made nicely, but not mistake. So this is the example of irony. You will find a lot of examples in irony almost in every literary text. This is a very common figures of speech. Okay, so that's for today. This is the first part of the class of rhetoric. Tomorrow at 3 p.m. I have another class on rhetoric. In that class, I will cover up the remaining figures of speech. Okay. And I will try to remind you one thing. Tomorrow, that is on Wednesday at 8 a.m. Okay, I have a special class. I have a special class on Unacademy Learning app. on Unacademy learning app. Okay. I have a special class on 8 a.m. and that class will be on the important tales of Chaucer's The Canterbury Tales. Okay, so please join that class. I have, yes, Sneha, I am telling you the timing. In YouTube, my class will be from Monday to Friday, daily at 3 p.m. Okay, Monday to Friday at 3 p.m. And in the Unacademy Learning app, that is on the free special class, tomorrow I have a special class that is on Wednesday at 8 a.m. Okay, and that special class is about the Canterbury Tales. Okay, and please join the Telegram channel which I have told you in the beginning of my class. So please join the Telegram channel, and there I will post the links of my special classes. Okay, so please join the Telegram channel. Please watch the video from the beginning. I have already mentioned the link here, and if you want, I will also mention it in the comment section. Okay, so after the end of my class, I will also give you the link of the Telegram channel in the comment section. So please join in the Telegram channel, where you will get each and every link of my special class. Okay, so I will put it down in the comment section at the end of the video. Okay? So please join tomorrow at 8 a.m. and also tomorrow at 3 p.m. I have a class on this platform on rhetoric. Okay, so clear? So that's the end of today, and before leaving, please use the referral code Brishti10 so that you will get 10% extra discount in your next Unacademy subscription. So that's for today. I hope I have explained at my best to you all the important figures of speech. So please do revise it in a more smart way. Okay. And we will meet you soon tomorrow at 8 a.m. So please come and join my special class. Thank you very much for your support and watching. All the very best. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.